Start of the day will be our ministers' only meeting, which is an informal part, but in the same time, of course, it's a deep discussion on the malign activities by Russia and other countries in our states. And you would have heard probably is that yesterday early morning, data cable has been significantly damaged. The good news are that our operator is a state company of manager of the data cables was so well prepared that we have not suffered any loss of data or transmission. So the operational procedures and the crisis scenario worked. In the same time, of course, as we saw, there was a day-long effort to clarify which ship has been responsible. So we have certain progress, but I cannot explain in detail because, of course, it's classified information. There were several ships that were cooperating, one ship that was not cooperating. So the Navy and the other institutions are cooperating with Estonia, with Finland, with Sweden, Norway, and others to make sure that our action is in place. So that's another sort of indication how quickly one has to move when something like that happens. How many cables do we have in the Baltic Sea? And also one of the ships involved is actually a sanctioned Shadow Fleet ship. So today we will also discuss, of course, the issues around how we can further sanction Russian incomes. So that is also Shadow Fleet is one of those. But also how we, together with the new American administration, with others, with Brits, can do other things to make sure that Russia's effort in Ukraine, the war, is weakened. Because weak Russia, we heard it yesterday also from Ms. Tsikhanovskaya, weak Russia is the best security guarantee for all of Europe, for the whole Euro-Atlantic space. We will have the exchange on Middle East, including on Syria. Again, there are certain developments that we welcome, which is a ceasefire, the release of hostages. I am personally very deeply unnerved by the efforts of Hamas to present themselves as some type of show. So that is something that we find despicable. Lebanon ceasefire holding, but again, there are issues that need to be discussed. And Syria, we fully support conditions-based roadmap for lifting sanctions and everything around that. And on Ukraine, I know you have a question.
Yeah, on Ukraine, I have one question. Trump said this weekend that he will significantly cut aid. We don't know exactly if it will be on Ukraine, but what does this mean for Ukraine?
I haven't heard anything like that the aid will be cut or that President has said that. What I have heard is that he has said to Russia that they have to cooperate on finding the long-term just solution for peace in Ukraine, which is fully our position.
Minister, on Georgia also on agenda. We see that people are already 60 days in the streets. My colleague, independent journalist under hunger strike, Zia Maglobeli, his health conditions is not good. Former Prime Minister was brutally attacked, but we do not see any actions from the so-called government. So can we expect real measures against this situation?
Again, on the EU side, we have done certain actions, which is essentially changing the visa regime with the government officials, with the public officials. They won't be able to travel with their diplomatic and service passports, visa-free, to the EU. So that is a very targeted action. And they themselves, but also the EU has said that EU support is not going to go to any government-related activities or agencies. Unfortunately, they are not respecting the will of people currently, what we are seeing in terms of European future, in terms of the demonstrations on the streets of Tbilisi. We in Latvia, we have put a number of government officials, a number of those who have suppressed this peaceful process, who have attacked journalists on so-called non-entrance list in Latvia, and so have the other European countries. So there is a pressure, but there is also clearly the door open for the European future if the people's will is respected.
What do you think of the trouble the EU has to renew the sanctions package due to one member state?
I believe we will find a solution to that.
Minister, one question concerning Syria. You are watching what's happening closely, but we saw widespread violation against minorities around the center city of Homs. You have delegations there watching, and you are watching closely what the new leader is doing. Are you aware of this, and what's your reaction?
There are various signals and various information also on the women's rights and others. So, as you say, we are gathering the information and most of all, there is a coordinated engagement with Syrian authorities. You saw that on behalf of the high representatives, the foreign ministers of Germany and France visited Syria. There were very clear messages. High representative is closely coordinating with other actors in the region, including in Turkey. So there is and with the US, so there is a joint action. I think the interest both from the countries in the region, the EU, the US, and other friends of Free Syria, there is a joint action there. So I wouldn't say more than that for now. Thank you so much.
Minister, just one comment for the press from priority right now for Europe, and if you'll discuss about Moldova today.
Yes, hello. Of course, Moldova is a priority, and we congratulate Moldova on the successful referendum for introducing the EU's future in its constitution and also for the presidential elections. We indeed are very upset at the way Russia has handled the whole gas supplies, but in the same time, Moldova's government has been clear that it will provide that assistance to its people to compensate for the rise of prices. And we have supported Moldova's government. We have sent money in the energy support fund so that that can be supported. But also the EU as such has a large program, more than 1.5 billion euros, to promote reforms within Moldova, meaning the practical way towards the European Union. So we are fully behind it, we are fully supportive, we are engaging with my Moldovan colleagues, on practical way on the EU, but also, as I said, financial support and all the other support that is necessary.